Hi there and welcome to episode 17 of the Builder's Office. My name's Hugh Maastricht, and the whole purpose of this podcast and YouTube videos as well is to be able to get as much information of what's going on out there in the building industry to homeowners and people looking to do any kind of building. So if you're looking to do anything like that, or you are involved in doing something like that already, then stick around. We're going to be talking about some pretty important stuff that is more than likely going to be affecting whatever you're doing with building your home. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, so today, really interesting things that have been going on, and if you have been listening to the podcast over the last few weeks, you would know that I have actually been chatting about some pretty interesting stuff. And when it comes to trades, and I don't even know where to sort of go with this at the moment, or where to start with this particular part that I wanted to talk about today, which is starting to get to that part of, is it just restricted to or limited to just the trades and builders? Now, I'm not about to say that a builder is above the law when it comes to the behaviour. So when it does actually come to it, I am talking about unreliability, I am talking about overcharging, I am talking about not delivering. So it's the age-old thing of overpromise, underdeliver, which seems to be running rampant. Definitely seeing a lot more of it, and yeah, I do apologise. I am just on a little bit of a walk. If I sound like I'm puffed, it's because I am a little bit, and I need to probably walk a little bit more. But I am enjoying going for a walk each day, and it gives me time to think and ponder. And certainly with some of my recent, what are they called? Can't even think what they are now. Here's the honesty part about the podcast right now is, yes, there are times that I will get stumped and not remember what I'm actually thinking about. But that being said, it is honest, it's off the cuff information that you're going to be hearing. It's going to be raw, it's going to be genuine. But when it does come to it, yeah, we're all fighting the same battle, and it doesn't matter what anybody says, we're all fighting the same thing, and we're all trying to do the best that we can. Now, yeah, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this. I am outside. It's probably going to be a little bit noisy, so I do apologise for any wind noise or animals squawking and doing that sort of thing. So, one question that's come up a lot, and I have been chatting to a few people lately about this sort of thing, and definitely getting into more discussions, and going back to what I was saying before about reels on social media, being able to get some of that information across and people engaging and responding to some of that content. So definitely had some feedback from people saying it is an important topic and nobody's really talking about it. Nobody really wants to get into the hard truths of what's going on out there. So I wanted to thank those people for some of their feedback, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to even get a couple of these guys on and be able to join in some of the conversation about this over the next couple of weeks. Of course, when it comes to it, getting people to sit down and well, don't even have to be sitting down. We could probably even do it walking like I am right now. But definitely having those conversations and getting the cold, honest truth from some of these guys, whether they are industry professionals or not. Yeah, we're just wanting to get that information out there, because at the end of the day, we know that there's young guys that want to be doing the right thing, and they want to be having a business that's going to be doing the best that it possibly can for everybody that they engage. And we really want to work with them. As builders, we want to work with them, and these young guys, they want to work with builders that are going to be listening to them as well. So that's only going to transfer onto homeowners as well, which is a massive positive. So we couldn't think of anything better than to engage these guys to be able to bring them into the conversation. So fingers crossed we'll be able to get a couple of these guys on and get a round table happening and find out what information could really be helping everybody out there, from builders, industry professionals, right through to people that are just engaging somebody, whether it is just a carpenter or a plumber, around their own home, and what some of the benefits can be for everybody in the way that they are engaged. I won't get into the numbers or anything like that with it, because that can get a bit tedious, I guess you could say. So I am trying to record this, and once again got my trusty notepad, which is a piece of paper and notes. But yeah, it's actually the writing some of this stuff down while I have been actually on the go and having conversations has really helped get some of this stuff a little bit more in detailed information for everybody. So let's start with something that I've written down here. So we've got, do trades actually understand the needs of those engaging them? When this got posed to me, it was something that I hadn't necessarily thought of in that aspect of being able to explain it to the greater community, because it wasn't something that sort of came up while people that are in business do that assessment of who their customers are and what their needs are. A lot of times they don't go into the depth that they really need to be able to really understand and get to the bottom of what a client's needs really are. And whether it is, now we're going to take that perspective of that I'm going to speak as a trade right now. And as a trade, do we actually spend the time to nut these things out for our business? And one of the things that I learned is if you have done anything in business, you would understand the term, what is your client avatar, or what is the customer avatar? A lot of people would have heard something along those lines. And it's one of those things that you really need to knuckle down with, because a lot of people would not actually go through and nut out what age bracket some of their clients might actually be, or what whether it's a husband and wife, or whether it's just a single mum, or the age demographic that they are, and what income they have, what jobs they have, and really nut that out so that they know exactly who they're actually going to be engaging. And sometimes you will be getting people in from the sides of that exact match for you and your business. But a lot of people, and a lot of trades specifically, they don't do this. And so they just expect that any time that they go out somewhere, they're going to be treated the same because their skills are needed. Okay, skills are needed, yes. But if you don't have the skills to be working with people, or knowing the type of people that are right to be working with you, then everything can go pear-shaped. And I know I've seen it happen over and over and over again. There's a lot of guys that talk the talk and they don't deliver. And when you start seeing that from the perspective of your clients, seeing that experience that is not enjoyable and not fun, yeah, I've seen the trauma stories that come from that, and how people are sort of feeling. And if at any time you are engaging somebody to come and do some work for you, you need to find out exactly what they are and who their ideal client is, and what their skill set's going to be for negotiating if there is an issue that arises on site, or there is an issue with the design, or how their problem-solving skills are going to help you out, what type of person they are outside of work. I mean, that's important as well. A lot of people won't immediately go down that road, but I do. When it comes to the guys that I'm engaging, I'm always finding out what they do outside of work. If they are married, if they do have family commitments, if they have any dilemmas. Like I had a guy that was working for me, and because of an issue with a separation, I was understanding of it all, but it did get to a point where it couldn't continue because he was going through that much turmoil with it all. He became unreliable, and I understood that, but we we mutually agreed that it's best not to continue because of the demands that we had, and it would just be the same for anybody that's getting any work done on their house. They've got demands and they have requirements that need to be met, and times and delays can create issues. And then, yeah, sometimes when that sort of thing's happening, people just up and disappear. So when it comes to it, yes, do these guys actually understand the needs of the people that they're doing work for? Not always, and we've got to do our due diligence to find out whether they understand what's needed, whether they're good business people, and we need to work it out really quickly. So definitely write down some of those things that you need to know, and what type of person that you're actually actively engaging, and then you should be able to knuckle it down and find out pretty quickly whether they are the right person for you or whether they're not. So yeah, little bit of a hot tip there. So here's a fun one. The next little topic. I'll try not to go too deep into this one. Do owners and builders feel let down by trades? Simple answer: yes and no. Reason that it's yes is because we do get let down by trades every single week. Can't get away from that. Whether it is just like an employee, if we had employees and an employee takes a day off sick, it's basically the same as that. If they are like what I was just discussing then, with them being problematic with not knowing their skill set and not knowing what the, sorry, now I've lost my train of thought. So here's the honesty part of the podcast. When they are sort of stuck in that space where they don't know who they're actually working for and what the skills that they actually need, that can then, yeah, it can definitely let everybody down, not just builders. It's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, because they do behave like employees and think that that's not going to affect anything, and the delays can ramp up, and you can definitely get more of them. So it certainly does make that difficult, and I wish it wasn't like that, but sadly, a small percentage of, I shouldn't say small percentage, I should just say a percentage of the industry is just like that. It does make it difficult for all of us. So yes, definitely feel like we're let down by trades. At the same time, we're not always let down. Guys do deliver, and those guys that do deliver, we hold on to them because it's like unicorns. And I wish I was seeing a unicorn at the moment. Like, my daughter loves unicorns, and if we could end up with more unicorns going around and we could hold on to more of them, then that would just be brilliant. And I'm just hoping that getting this sort of information out to people, we can definitely at least help with guiding people in the right direction, and get some assistance to those trades that feel like they're suffocating or anything like that. Now, I'm not about to say that I'm a coach or want to be a coach to coach people. I'm involved in a coaching group myself, and a number of other groups that do a little bit of coaching, but it's more of, can offer some mentoring and guidance towards things that are going to help people. That's what I can offer, but yeah, definitely not coaching. So don't take that as me writing in and saying I want to do coaching for everybody. That's a job that maybe 20 years time, when I'm a bit older, a bit more grey hairs going through the beard, possibly even shaving the beard, and away we go. But yes, this was something that actually came up this week. So I was having a chat with a client, and we were discussing whether people are listening to us throughout an entire project. And when it comes to trades, yes, sometimes they don't listen. They go off on their own merry way, thinking they know best, because they've taken in a little bit of information from us, but not actually taking in all the information that was more critical. And some of those things are the non-negotiable things that we need in whatever we're going to be doing. And they don't start with that. They go with, oh, well, it has to be a particular way. And some of the biggest culprits are industry professionals that aren't on site. They are people that spend a lot of time in their offices working with clients, but we notice that they're not always listening. So this makes it very difficult. And I was having a conversation with a client about this, and they'd spent the better part of $30,000 only to not get what they want, because this particular industry professional had gone off on their own merry way, and well, they had come up with something that wasn't feasible. So we were looking at the costs that were going to be involved, and their budget was blown, and it's something that happens very commonly. There you go, mate. And we see it happen all the time. It's unbelievable. Like, where people wonder why there is such a dark art happening with the industry. G'day, buddy. That's a very cute puppy running past there. The fun things that we see where, and I think I've touched on this with a couple other people in previous episodes of the podcast, where things get designed and they don't get built because of budget issues. So we've definitely seen quite a lot of that happen. And I'm starting to go a little bit dead holding this. But yes, it was, if I can twist this thing around and actually get it to work properly. There we go. And so we were having a discussion, and it was very interesting to see their opinion of what had happened and how disappointed they were with the whole situation, where they'd paid good money and not been delivered what they want. So overpromised, underdelivered, and sadly lost money. And now things are going to have to be redone because their original brief wasn't listened to. The industry professional, yeah, they went off on their own merry way, thought that they were going to go with their own ideas and deliver that. And that didn't work for the client. So the client got pretty upset. And sadly, it's something that we see more and more often. So what can we say? We can say that, yes, it's not just limited to just trades. It is the broader space that people aren't listening to what's going on. And do we all want people that are going to listen to what we're asking? Yes, we do. And it's not just going to be something that happens at work. I mean, we all want people to be listening to how things are going at home, and at least we want that feeling of being heard. We definitely do. So whether this is just me running off my emotions at the moment and finding that, yes, we definitely don't have the greatest industry in the world, and some days I don't feel like we do, some days I do. But I appreciate everybody that I do engage with and try to make sure that they're getting the best out of everything that we do as well. So I'm hoping that we can get some more traction from podcasts like this and be able to get some good things happening and conversations going on all of this. So I think I might drop that all off there. We've touched on 3 subjects there, which sort of still all mingle together, but they're going to be really informative for people coming up. So hopefully in the next week, I've just booked in a time to have a chat with someone from the HIA. And if you know anything about the HIA, it's the Housing Industry Association. I've been a member of them for coming up on 15 years now. And I'm hoping to have a really good conversation about topics like this and see what other things we can really touch on, that, well, what's going on in the industry, if there are things that we can shine a light on to be able to help homeowners, anybody doing any kind of work on their house, and be able to at least have a decent conversation about it all. So I want to thank you for listening today. Next episode, going to be touching a little bit more on this, and fingers crossed, I am hoping that this coming week I will be chatting with somebody that's going to be able to definitely go into a deep dive, and it might end up being a couple episodes just to do with trade specifically, more detailed than what I already have. So while I walk up this hill, I'll be thinking of more questions, writing them down on my notepad, and going through it a little bit more detail on what we can do. So want to thank you all. If you've got any questions, comments, want to bag me out, go for it. Love it. And if yeah, you can jump down. If you're watching on YouTube, you can jump underneath. You can tell me that my shirt looks funny. I'm fine with it. And so the comments underneath, or emails, all the details for all of that will be in the description. If you want to get in contact with me, my company at New Rome Homes, it's all attached to the builder's office, social media stuff. So you can definitely get in contact with me through any of that. But I want to thank you again. Thanks for listening, and I will see you, or you'll hear me next week. Thank you very much.